Day 2 of testimony is underway in the double murder trial of Alec Murdaugh. Prosecutors are questioning Detective Laura Rutland, who detailed what she saw at the scene where Murdaugh's wife and son were killed. And we do want to warn you, this is graphic.
Inside the feed room, I did observe body matter that had been on the ceiling, as well as covered in items inside the feed room. There was shotgun wadding on the floor inside the feed room, as well as droplets of blood on the concrete.
And yesterday we heard from the first responder on the scene as prosecutors showed him his body cam video from that night. And we even got to hear what Murdaugh himself told officers that night.
This is a long story. My son was in a boat wreck. He's been getting threats. Most stuff has been benign stuff we didn't take serious. Okay. You know, he's been getting like punched. I know that's what it is. Did you check them? What are they doing? Can they hurry? They are dead, aren't they?
I want to bring in ABC News legal contributor Brian Buckmeyer for more on this. Brian, thanks for being on. How powerful do you think it was for the jury to watch this footage and hear Alec Murdaugh in his own words that night?
Diane, thank you for having me. It's extremely powerful. The prosecutor and the defense can make the arguments as to whether or not he reacted appropriately for someone who was grieving, or whether or not he reacted appropriately for someone who had planned these murders. But for the jury to see and hear for themselves what he went through, then they get to bring those facts back into the jury room when they start deliberation some weeks from now and say, we believed him being a grieving father, or we believed him scheming to kind of cover up his tracks in this double homicide. So it's a very, very powerful tool for the jury.
And the defense was very focused on the preservation of the crime scene yesterday, trying to imply that not all precautions were taken. And also, they were trying to harp on the fact that officers on the scene explored the possibility that Paul Murdaugh shot his mother and then shot himself. Do you think that line of questioning was able to start sowing some seeds of reasonable doubt?
Diane, I think that's the perfect way of saying it. Start sowing seeds, because it's not that any one of these arguments is going to win the case at all. But if you plant the seed and you nourish it throughout this trial, you hope that it sprouts and bears fruit, that being reasonable doubt. When it comes to the investigation, most defense attorneys say if you don't have the facts, argue the investigation. Argue that the reason why the facts are the way they are is because in collecting that evidence, putting together the information, there was a fundamental problem. And that's why anything that comes from the investigation is also a fundamental problem. But also, when you have the opportunity to pick out another or an alternative theory that the police themselves believed at some point in time, you want to give that as much sunlight as possible as you're sowing in those seeds of doubt. So again, it grows into something that bears fruit at the end of the trial.
Brian, a redacted version of the body cam video played in court is now expected to be released to the media. So what are you watching for in that?
I'm watching for the exact same thing that the jury's going to see. I mean, it's the same way that we evaluate people when we speak to them one-on-one. What's your body language? I mean, to some extent as well, how would I react if I just saw my wife and child in this situation? Is he reacting the same way I am or in a different way? That's really going to be something for the public to also evaluate.
All right, Brian Buckmeyer, thank you. And you can watch that trial underway live right now at abcnewslive.com/live.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.